Hello and welcome to a hobby hangout that I've not actually done for about a month now. It's been quite some time, but regardless, welcome. And I think we may have a guest on tonight, possibly. I'm not too sure, but yes, welcome one and all. I am going to be doing some hobbying myself. I have got these guys to do, or assemble, or I'm thinking Space Marines. I'm not too sure just yet. I'm gonna see what tickles my fancy. Well, yeah, just let us know what you guys are working on. If you're watching after the facts, then obviously just put in the descriptions down below what you're working on. That'd be awesome, because I'm always looking and very keen to see what the community is working on. So let's just let's just get started. Oh, looks like Sarah may have joined, and she has joined. Here we go. Are you good? Yeah, I think you're good. Hey, there you
go. There I am. There you go.
How are you? Are you okay?
Well, yeah, I've not had the best day. I woke up with an amazing migraine, and that persisted for the majority of the day. So that was great.
Right. Okay. So if you just bear with me 2 seconds, I'm just gonna edit the mic settings. Let me just bang yours further up. So
am I a bit too quiet?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, just change up your mic a bit there. So, but yeah, just let us know if you can. Are you using your phone? Are you?
Yeah, I'm using my phone. Just see how that goes. I'm not on my laptop at the minute.
No, it's all good. In fact, just bear with me a second. I'll tell you what, it's always been this case, isn't it? With when you haven't done it for such a long time. Let's get some tunes going. Oh, that's a bit too loud. I think you're okay now.
Am I okay now?
Yeah, you're good.
There we go.
Yeah, so I have to mute a few other things. The rustiness is true. It definitely exists. On my part, that is. Bear with us a second. And... Yes. Do that. Boom. And there we go.
Oh, now I'm tiny.
Now it's both of us. It's
a very cool video.
Well, I was going to say, it's kind of... new subscriber. Thank you very much. I need to get rid of all these notifications first. There you go. It's just going to keep popping up. But no, I was going to say, with the video itself, I was just thinking, because obviously we did it on Instagram. I was like, okay, so I've got to get it somehow so it looks all right, either side.
Yeah, I think this works pretty well. Having the video right in the middle makes it a lot easier than having it off to the side.
Yeah, no, for sure. Cool. If the music's too loud, can you hear the music? Sarah, can you hear the music? No.
Oh yeah, I can hear the music. Yeah, in the background.
Too loud? Is it okay or?
Oh, it's okay. It's not interfering with the voices or anything.
Okay, cool. That's fine. Right, yeah. So Sarah, basically, what I'm working on is the Reavers.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was thinking either these guys or Space Marines. And I did that Instagram poll as well, so I am, they voted for Reavers.
I voted for
but in heart, I was like, no. Yeah, it's sorely tempted to do, because it's just 5 Space Marines. I should have just put, should I do 5 Space Marines or complete an army?
Well, it gets really, really tempting when you get to the point where you're only a few units off completing an army. I'm like that with my Maw Crusher at the minute for my Iron Jaws. I only have that as my last model for my Iron Jaws before I've finished all of my Iron Jaws models. But then I do have like about 50 Savage Orcs to finish off my my Savage Orcs army.
That's not bad though.
And then I've got an entire Crow Boys army, which is about 70 models, maybe more.
That's not bad though at all.
It is when you have to try and consider, like, I really want to paint these ones well. So it's going to take up a lot of time. Same with like my Lumineth and my Necrons and Space Marines, because they're all like recent armies. I kind of want to paint them really well. So I'm going to be investing a little bit more time in them than I usually do. Like some of my Iron Jaws, just to get them on the table, I've just literally slapped contrast paint on them.
Best way. That's why I do it all the time.
Like the quality of some of my models goes from like absolute speed paint contrast all the way up to I've spent 3 weeks painting this one model.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. For me, when I paint, also these days especially. I suppose after I painted my Courage and Overlords. These armies are quite good for contrast, but I think my Nighthaunt was a mix of both because I had half of them done, and then the other half I decided to go with contrast. The Sylvaneth I did with contrast, but again they're not too bad with that. The Skaven I did all contrast. Again, that's just good stuff. That for all the furs, skin, and obviously a bit of smudging doesn't really matter either. And then what else? Ogres I did with contrast. That's where I struggled a bit with the skin tones, because it's like can blotch up a bit. So I wanted to be a bit careful there. And what else? Oh, obviously Ideneth as well. So yeah, did those.
Have you seen the Army Painter speed paints?
No.
So it looks like Army Painter have made a kind of paint which is like contrast, where it's like a really, really heavy pigmented wash. But it looks like from a lot of the pictures, I've not watched any full videos on it yet, so I'm keen to give them a try myself. They look a lot more matte than the contrast paints one, and that was kind of one of my issues that I had with the contrast paints, was they tended to be quite glossy when you use them. Some of the paints anyway. And if you were ever trying to use a contrast paint with like a dry brush or something, sometimes the gloss of the contrast paint would show through, so you'd have like some matte areas, some gloss areas. And unless you've got like a decent matte gloss or something, well, not really matte gloss, but
I know,
like a matte varnish to go over it, you still get that you get that weird gloss and matte contrast together.
Okay. It looks like Fax Painter's joined us as well. Evening. Fax Painting, what are you working on then? Because I think you got in the Discord that you're in your hobby room, is it? Not clearly we're in ours, so. So Sarah, what are you working on then?
Well, I've got a bunch of Outriders for Space Marines, and I treated myself to the Chaplain on bike.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, it's one of the models that a lot of the cool kids are using nowadays. So I decided to gain entry to the cool kids club.
No, yes, it's going to say that's somewhere I definitely do not belong. So, Fax Painter was in hobby rooms. Oh, and stream. Right. My bad. I thought you said you were in a hobby room. That's what you get when you glance at things. You don't get the full information. So yeah, I'm to be honest, I'm torn. I'm thinking I might just assemble my 5 Space Marines, and then they're done. Well, not done, but and then I'll look to work on them after that, because I'm going to do my own chapter. And have you ever seen Endless Space?
Endless Space?
No, not Endless Space. You can tell it's bloody late, right? Not Endless Space is a computer game. The Expanse.
The Expanse. Okay.
Yeah, the Expanse.
No. God.
Same thing. It's in space, right?
And it's endless. It expands.
And it's endless. Yeah. But no, so the Martian Marines in the Expanse, they are basically it's like in like a grey, like matte grey armor kind of thing, and with like red trims. So I'm thinking of using contrast paints for this. So to give it a kind of like a metallic kind of sheen, I might do the what do you call it? Like how the hell do you call it? The silver paint, a spray. Even I can't remember the name of it. It's been a while since I've used it. So thinking lead belcher, that's one, yeah. So thinking of using lead belcher to prime it, and then going over it with the silicanum grey. And I've never done that before, so I may have to give it a go.
Well, if you want to see how that looks, check out my.
Oh, she's gone. Not intentional. Not intentional. I'm currently basing 14,000 points of Dark Angels. Holy Zeus. Oh. Is she back? Yep, she's back. I did not kick you.
Yeah, I wonder what happened there. Yeah, anyway, what I was saying was, if you want to see what the lead belcher with Basilicanum Grey looks like, that's how I'm painting my Stormcast at the minute. So on my Instagram, my current Stormcaster like that. It's literally lead belcher spray undercoat, Basilicanum Grey, lead belcher dry brush over the top, and then like a I can't remember what, rune fang silver as like a highlight dry brush over the top, and that's the stuff that I use for them. Yeah.
Oh, you Storm. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's cool. Actually, I'm looking at it now.
It gives it sort of like a really dark silver look.
Ooh,
once
yes.
You've done it.
Ooh. Like that.
If you have a look, like it's really far back. I did a Sister of Battle the same way, but I used Black Templar contrast paint over lead belcher, and that gives it sort of like again a really dark armor, but it still keeps the silver pigment underneath it, so it gives it a nice shine to the armor rather than having it as solid black.
Well, that's cool. No, I'll definitely give that a go because I'm liking the look of that. So Fax Painter is currently basing 14,000 points of Dark Angels. That's a lot. That is a lot. And
I think I did that with my Necrons. Once I built them all and then just based them all by putting some of the Vallejo stuff on it.
Right, okay. Fax Painter as well, sorry. Did you say, so got some clicking on the mic? Is that myself or is that Sarah? Obviously it's just good to know, that's why. Just let us know who's... Oh, Sarah's dropped again. It might be Sarah. But yeah, just let us know if who's got the clicking on the mic. That'll be awesome. Yeah, she's back.
Sorry, it keeps kicking me off for some bizarre reason.
Oh, right. Oh, so Sarah, I think you've got some clicking on your mic. So just, if you get anything near the phone itself?
Let me try and see if putting in a headset or something helps with it.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so Fax Painter, my conundrum. And it's basically got these Reavers. So I've got these Reavers, and I've also got 2 units of Eels left. So thinking that's basically what I've got left of my Ideneth army. And then pretty much it's almost done, really. And then kill team-wise, I'm really interested in getting these, at least, unit of 5 Space Marines done. Shouldn't take long either. And it's also slightly different change of pace because I've painted so many AOS armies recently. And I've just finished the Leviathan. So now I'm like, do a step away from that and then go into Space Marines just to do 5 miniatures. But knowing me, it's going to take a while because doing other things recently, like board games and so on. And speaking of which, that arrived today. Marvel United. So I got the base game there. Exactly what we're playing here. Using Geek Gaming, what was that? Scenic Space ready, so it should be okay. Okay, so is that like, obviously, I'm assuming that's kind of, well, obviously the company and so on that they're using the scenery, the type of scenery from. That's cool. It's one of spaces. It's one thing I don't really touch on much for my miniatures. I don't really. Yeah, my bases. I'm a speed painter, so I go through. I use contrast. I try to go through as quick as possible. Obviously, so it still looks decent, of course, but yeah. So contrast the bases. I tend to go for quite a like simple but still effective, kind of look. So Sarah, what about you? Do you spend much time on? I think you're on mute. Do you spend much time?
I put myself on mute there just to see if it's crackling or anything. It still continues.
Oh,
whilst
right,
I had it on mute, so I don't know if anybody else was listening just to see if that did occur. If it is happening on my mic, then I might have to try and switch over to my laptop if I can, because
right.
I'm currently on my phone.
On your phone. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean with my bases and stuff like that, I don't really tend to do a lot of detail. If I'm doing a piece that is like a kit bashed piece or something like that, and I really want to customize it, yeah, I'll give it a proper base and stuff like that, and I'll take my time to give it proper rocks, give it texture, try a few different grass tufts and stuff like that here and there, which I'm doing with my Lumineth at the minute.
Cool.
But otherwise, I just use a texture paste on the base, and then maybe just paint it a certain color, wash it with something, and then dry brush it.
That's pretty good. Because I was going to say, because I literally get a texture kind of paint, do a bit of like a wash on it of some sort, and then probably some other bits. Like I've bought some of these like plants or like some tufts from other shops and elsewhere. So what's Fax Paint saying there? So maybe connection by the sounds of it. So Sarah, it's going to say, if you like, how quick could you get the what do you call it, the laptop ready?
Maybe about 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's sound. Yeah, just do that if you like.
Try it on that?
Yeah, I think just try it out on that. See if it sounds better.
All right. I'll disconnect from here, and then I'll try logging on there and getting on with it. So just bear with me. You might need I'll use the same link and stuff that you sent.
Use the same link. Yeah,
I should be able to catch it back.
Sweet, nice one.
See you in a bit.
See you in a bit. So completing stuff is always satisfying. It's satisfying. So complete that army. I know. It's what I like doing as well. It drives me on. It drives me on to other things. So I will take that, my friend. I will start my Reavers. I was like, where the hell? Yeah, start my Reavers. Because I think... Let me just get it. Oh, innuendos. So I think I'm going to do the Reavers. And then... And also I did do a poll on Instagram as well. And vast majority were calling for Reavers. So be it. And plus, it's going to be great for Warcry, because I had a game against Matt recently. I went again with Warcry. I'm not sure. Is anyone in chat as well, or again, those folks who watch after, has actually watched Warcry or played Warcry? Because for me personally, I think it's great fun. But the actual game itself, I've tried out Stormcast, I've tried Ogres. my Ideneth, I went with more like beasts than individuals, and so I kind of lost each game through lack of units. Really, I went with pure power, and yeah, I think Warcry need a bit more finesse, and I need to, pick and choose a certain, or have more units on the board, should I say, more models. Yeah, I think it's actually. I was just actually looking. What you call it as well? I was looking at the last time we actually did a live stream. It was a month ago. That's not good. That is not good. So Fax Painter really appreciates stopping by here, because I need to get the other regulars back, and it's kind of a last minute thing as well. This, but myself and Matt might be doing another live stream tomorrow. But that'll be a late one as well. Because it's a feature on the channel that I love. It's just I need to get back in the zone of actually doing some more live stuff as well. Because as I said, we haven't done it for like a month. So yeah, we need to rope in those regulars back. So honestly, Fax Painter, massive help showing up here, showing the support. Right. Gluing time. Dear Lord, this is not good. I love watching Dice Sagas hobby hangouts. You can tell you what, you're not biased at all, are you? Nah. Well, I hope you're all having a good evening, and for those who watch after as well, I appreciate you obviously stopping by and viewing the channel. So this should be a lot more straightforward than it looks. So it's one thing I've found actually quite recently, is the ones I've actually been. Again, I've been in the hobby for a long time. We're talking about, what, 20 years? Roughly? About 20 years. And the sprues, I'm just like, I remember when they just came in like two halves and you just put them together. And that was it. If I ever get my hobby and computer area sorted, I'll join you someday. Honestly, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. I love it. Because there's no, to be honest, this isn't a closed shop whatsoever. Well, Sarah joined it not too long ago as well. Matt is on nights tonight, so he's unable to join. So we're going to look to potentially stream tomorrow, but again, that'll be a late one. So. Four and five. I seriously am going a bit cuckoo. But you know what? I'm not sure, because again, if it's one great thing what I found with the channel recently is that we've now got access to the community tab, which is just an awesome feature, and I wish we had that in the beginning as well, because I like to get feedback from you guys, from obviously everyone who's watching, and Dice Saga community. I love just getting the feedback from you guys, just because without it, we just continue doing what we do, but we don't know really if we're doing much wrong either. So that's why, like, we was asking about whether the actual whether the actual like format itself is good. So like the hobby hangouts, again, there's not much else to this. It's, we're hanging out, we're chilling. I like the vibe, but with the actual videos itself, also, I want to, like, the battle reports. I was asking whether or not the like more actual live content for the battle reports is a good thing, because I know that's obviously the thing. And obviously what we do is very narrative narratively based battle reports, which has its place, but it's like a niche within a niche, if you get what I mean. So that's why I've started to change the dynamic of it, and I've got a few battle reports that I'm working on at the moment, so they'll be out soon as well, which is cool. So yeah, you'll see a slight change in the narrative in the battle. Well, slight. It's actually quite a big change in the battle reports, but it's by no means the final products. I think Sarah may have joined us. There you go.
I'm hoping this sounds okay. Any crackling?
Yeah. No, there is a bit of an echo from your side, but I think you just need to turn down the possibly volume on that.
Yeah, let me just do that. There's always technical issues on my side. Don't worry. How's that?
No, that's good. Yep. Good stuff.
Excellent. There we go. Sorry, sorry to cause so many disruptions.
Honestly, it's first stream out of a month, so there's gonna be more than that. I've already had a few hiccups already when I was trying to get started. Yeah, what I was saying before is, oh, here we go, spot on. Yep, good stuff.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah, so what I was saying is that the community tab, now it's been unlocked on our channel. So in terms of the, you can post polls and get feedback, and it's a great milestone, because again, you don't get it until you're roughly 1,000 or near 1,000 subscribers, got so many views, so many followers, all that jazz. So it's a good milestone to hit, and we've already started to post stuff on there to get feedback and just to try and improve what we do. So yeah, I love the feature. I just wish we had it earlier as well, because it just enables us to actually engage with the YouTube folks as well, because not everyone, we're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, but Twitch is obviously by the by on this. So it's a great feature.
It's one of those things where, like, each of the communities to their own, and not everybody engages with each part of it necessarily. So there might be people who don't see any of the Instagram stuff or the Twitter stuff.
Exactly. And this is why the YouTube community tab is just a great source just to get feedback from obviously everyone really as well. And as we know, we talked about this in the past as well, Sarah, that we're looking to get more like live content, and even if it's like Warhammer, board games, anything like that, we're looking to do more live content and get it out there. It's like I've reached out to a load of folks on on Insta recently as well for board game kind of content and like collaborations, and obviously inviting people on, all that kind of stuff, just to get like bit of vibes going for obviously board games as well as Warhammer as well.
Yeah, I mean, board games is one of those things where like you can generalize thinking, oh, board games is just Monopoly, all that type of stuff. But there's so many different genres of board game types, and everybody's into different things. So, and with there being thousands of different board games out there, whoever it is that you talk to, there's usually some overlapping interests and types of games, like Seven Wonders. Who doesn't like Seven Wonders?
Exactly.
But you get all kinds of ideas, and you get to see all different types of board games by speaking to different people.
Exactly.
I mean, I collected a lot of board games that have miniatures and stuff with them, like Arcadia Quests, Marvel United, Resident Evil, Alien. I've also Massive Darkness and Massive Darkness 2 when eventually that comes out. I'll have Nemesis, Lockdown when that comes out. Zombicide, loads of stuff.
See, that's what I like. I do like board games as well with miniatures. It does. I mean, Seven Wonders is cool, of course, but I do like the miniatures. It's like Twilight Imperium that we played recently as well. Having the
that was incredible. I love that.
Yeah. I'm looking for. Well, we've got the date confirmed now. It's just obviously getting the additional player, which I will have.
So we're going to have 4 players on that day?
4 players.
Oh, nice. That's gonna throw some spanners. It could end up in a 2 versus 2.
Exactly. Oh, if I go for Megator Rex again, then.
Oh, I know. Don't worry. I'll be getting that speaker token as soon as I can.
Yeah.
I really hated having to give it up, because as soon as I started losing the choice for technology at the beginning of each of the turns, I was falling behind. I was like 2 away from getting a War Sun, and losing technology for 2 turns in a row, and only being able to do the secondary. When I was having to use my strategic tokens when I had none. It meant that I was falling way far behind what I was expecting.
Exactly.
Because those 12 trade goods that I had accumulated, they were going to become a War Sun.
Yeah, right. I get it. That would have been a beast to definitely try and rival. Because one thing I absolutely loved about that game. Oh, sorry, Dave as well. Evening. Thanks for joining. But I was going to say, Dave, Fax. I know Fax. You've told us that you're working on your rebasing, or I'd say basing your Dark Angels. Dave, what are you working on? So you've just finished your Space Marines, I believe, as well. Yeah. So when there's so many different dynamics in that game where, like, I started off spreading out like the plague kind of thing. Taking like the war card as well. So I just kept removing tokens, placing it back on, conquering and taking over planets, and it came to a point where obviously Megator Rex was just beckoning, but me and Jono had like this cold war kind of thing going, and you were just quietly growing plants and your own little trees and whatnot, and obviously, but learning technology. Technology is one thing I definitely lagged behind in, but it's just like the vessels, everything was looking good. I'd had Megator, but I think because Jono had nothing else to lose and he had to go for everything, I think it kind of distracted my kind of. I was basically too focused on Jono that I didn't really think about your side of it too much, because we were too much like a Cold War kind of. None of us were willing to commit, and if we did, we'd both be screwed.
Yeah, and then my flagship was just popping up dreadnoughts here, there, and everywhere.
Exactly, yeah.
And I managed to get all the way over to his next to his home planet.
That was good.
I mean, like, totally forgot about that. I hadn't activated anything over in that area, and all of a sudden, oh my god, I've got 1 fighter holding my home world, and here comes all of Sarah's fighters.
Yep, that's it. Oh, that was good though. Jono's 1 fighter he said was Luke Skywalker. That's true.
It was a valiant effort, but
it was.
He fell to the Empire of Plants.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm currently working on my Reavers, assembling my Reavers. And to be honest, I'm going to really enjoy painting these, I think. Decent ratio of skin to cloth. So the eyes are pretty straightforward. They don't have any. Are the
Reavers the ones that don't have eyes?
Huh?
No, are the Reavers the ones that...
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I've just done my Thralls not too long ago, so...
Yeah, all I can think of is Teclis is just shaking his head, going, "Why did I bother? Why did I bother with them?"
Because they are epic, that's why. Tyrion saw the truth.
Well, he didn't for very long.
Your hand. These deserve to live. That's what he's like.
Yeah, Tyrion ended up seeing the truth, and then 5 seconds later had his eyes burnt out of his skull.
No. Nope. Yeah, no.
He is going to, like, I'm pretty sure he is going to get his own set of armies, or set of models.
I'd imagine so, for sure. Tell you what, these are so dynamic. That's what I love about these Reavers. It's one of the, in game, to be honest, with the Overwatch. It's not Overwatch. What do you call it in AOS? Anyway, you know where you get to shoot like another round of use a heroic action kind of thing to shoot.
Oh, Unleash Hell.
Unleash Hell. There you go. Yeah, so they're pretty good with Unleash Hell because again, within 9 you get 3 shots, so that's not too shabby. But I'm actually really looking forward to using them in Warcry as well, just to have a bit of pop shots at people from a distance.
Yeah, I'm going to be having another game tomorrow. Iron Jaws versus Soulblight.
Oh, nice.
I've been playing a guy with his Soulblight. Last week I ended up defeating him.
Is this with your
10-3 with my Bone Splitters?
Yeah, that was it. I remember you saying. Yeah.
Yeah, his Soulblight don't have any ranged attackers. And the Wurgog Prophet for the Bone Splitters at the minute is basically the bane of any non-ranged army, because he can anything within 12 inches of him. You just keep rolling 3-ups to do mortal wounds.
That's not too shabby.
I mean, he can kill himself, but if he can blow something up with his amazing eye lasers, then that's even better.
I was going to say, I think with Dave's Soulbite player as well. So he may have he's got a few tactics up his sleeves, I think. He has a zombie dragon and a bunch of other stuff as well. So yeah, I've seen his list. He's had a few tournaments as well. So he's I think he may have an opinion or two to try and counter your orcs, possibly.
Well, you can screen them out pretty easy. That's one of the things that I've found, especially against Iron Jaws. Soulblight has a really good time of screening them out because they've got such cheap units like the zombies and skeletons that can easily just come back from the grave if they manage to kill a couple of units.
Okay.
And with Iron Jaws not having, well, they've got one spellcaster, but that doesn't really count. But it's mainly just combat. They move, they fight. That's basically what they do. And if you can screen them from hitting anything that's worthwhile, then they hardly do anything.
Oh, I'm just going to put myself on mute because I'm just going to make awful noises with this opening this wrapper. So it won't be a sec. Sorry about that. I'm back. So sorry, Dave. Dave said, did a few days ago, but I'm actually in bed on my tablet. Rock and roll. I tell you what, that sounds like a dream. Chilling in bed, tablet, watching Dice Sagas. You can't get better than that, mate. No, I appreciate you stopping by. Of course, it's Dave is actually one of the legends, one of the originals of the community as well. He's our realm
OG Dice Sagas follower.
Yeah, he's a realm warden for on Discord. So if anyone's naughty on Discord, he will give him a good old slap on the hand. Yeah, I hate painting guys. Yeah, to be honest, I kind of just bypass that now. What's good is that some of the Idoneth specific is that a lot of their guys have helmets, and so I'm just like done. Well, contrast there, just ignore the eyes pretty much. I've just never been that good. I've attempted a few times with like horses and other stuff, and it's okay, but I just don't have the patience. I am a speed painter, so unless I was going in for a competition, then yeah, not really my thing. 1 or 2 ideas, yeah. How's about you, Sarah? You like painting the good old eyes?
I'm kind of getting used to it. Like I've done a couple on my Lumineth, and I've started doing some on some of my Space Marines. Like I genuinely hated doing unhelmeted characters for Space Marines, but I've tried to get a little bit better at the doing the skin tones and trying to do the eyes. Because with my Stormcast, I tried to get at least, you know, to try and paint the little white part of the eye. And that's as far as I got, because anytime I tried to do the actual pupils and stuff, they just looked completely as if they were looking in two separate directions. Right. Or one of them was too big, one of them was too small. But then I ended up getting a set of like super magnifying glasses. Right, and it makes it a lot easier, but the paint that I use, it tends to dry up really quickly because I'm using a very fine brush. So I've really got to dip it in the paint and then
you only have a
get there quick enough before it dries, before I then have to go, no, wash the brush again and then dip it in and then try and do it again.
Yeah, exactly. Oh dear.
So many trials you have to go through just to be able to paint miniatures. It's so difficult.
That's it. And for me personally, when I've done before the contrast days, like the KO, they took me ages. I mean, the ships and everything, and I enjoy it. Don't wrong. As I had this conversation with some guys in chat before as well, saying like, what's the most proud army or most that you feel good about that you've painted? And for me personally, I was saying like KO, even though I didn't really enjoy it as such, but I enjoyed the final products. Like it was like, yes, I've done it, it's awesome, they look good. But now I've come across contrast paints, so and that's just revolutionized my whole painting technique, and now I'm just all contrast, speed painting, get the job done to a good standard, but still it's just like bang, done. And I've with contrast paints, as I said, done about 4 armies, I think, roughly. Well, about half with the Nighthaunt. So
I think that's one of the cool things about the contrast paints, though, is that it has enabled a lot of slower painters or people who weren't as confident with their painting to basically smash through armies.
Patience as well, yeah. It's like, for me, it was definitely just a patience thing, because I could do it, but then I'd like, it's not the motivation, but it's just like the slog of just going through it. And then for me, it's just, I try to, for my painting style personally, it's about working smarter. Because again, I'm not here to be the best painter, if you like. I'm not here to be, I enjoy painting. I find it very therapeutic as well, but I'm not here to be, oh, I'm the best painter, look at me, I'm, blah, blah, blah. I post my miniatures like everyone else does to enjoy and, share all of the, community spirit, everything like that. It's just great to see other people's work, as well as obviously getting appreciation for the bits I've done as well. So it's that kind of thing which I really enjoy about the painting aspects. But I tell you what, those people who do really go into detail with I have such admiration for them as well, because the patience, the time, the effort, everything, that blood, sweat and tears that can go into like a miniature. And I'm just like, I am blown away by a lot of their work. It's just like, it's insane.
It's when you actually watch them and how they go from the original undercoated model all the way to the finished product, and it looks as though they're doing stuff so sloppily, but then once they've built it up and they've added some highlights here, there and everywhere, it looks immaculate. It looks incredible. Sure. I'm there thinking, I paint like that. Why doesn't mine turn out like that at the end? I slap on paint that's really watery. But like stippling and stuff like that, which, is like some of the more advanced techniques for trying to get like texturing and stuff like that. Mine just looks absolutely disgusting compared to theirs. I don't know how they do it. It's like, what's wrong with my brush?
Exactly, it's the brush.
Yeah, it's definitely not me. I'm doing everything right. No. I'm putting paint on the brush. Exactly. I'm putting the brush on the model. How's that any different?
Exactly. Appreciate that. Dave, so got my last tournament game on Saturday. If I win, I win overall. Next tournament is going to be back back to one-day events instead of obviously the COVID safety style. Okay, that's pretty good then. Because I know one of your and Dave's been, as I said before, Dave's been going to tournaments and it's been stretched over like a month or period of time. Obviously due to COVID safeties and concerns, but it looks like now they're going back to one-day events, which is cool if that's all well and good, organizers and all that. So exciting times. But one win away to win the tournament. That's awesome. Best of luck, Dave. Yes.
Is awesome. It an AOS one or 40k one? Do you know?
Yeah, AOS. It says Soulblight.
Okay, it'd be cool to find out. Oh, undefeated with Soulblight so far. Nice. So, which factions has he been against?
I'm just trying to remember from Discord now, so we can actually have a look in a bit. Because one thing
if you can type it.
No, I was going to say Dave will no doubt tell us in chat in a sec anyway.
Because I've been to 2 tournaments. One that was a 1-dayer with, a 2-dayer with 5 rounds. I went to another 1-dayer which had 3 rounds, only like 1,000 points though. And I came 3-2 in the 2-day one and 3-0 in the 1-day one with my orcs.
That's cool. I mean, I've never been to a tournament, so I can't claim anything. It's always something I've always thought about doing, but I think I'd need to choose an army because I've got like 7. So I know you've got loads as well. But I just keep swapping and changing between the armies. So I need to dedicate, I think, to a certain one and learn the list, learn everything about the rules, just so it's a lot more streamlined. Because my biggest fear is that I'll go to a tournament and I'll be like, okay, especially if I don't prep, I'll be like, okay, what the hell do these guys do again? I knew if I haven't used them for a while.
Yeah. Well, that's why I carry the the little war scroll cards and stuff. I always find out the ones that I'm specifically using for the army and just take those, so I'm not constantly flicking backwards and forwards in the book. Because especially like when I use my Death Guard, and for some reason they've implemented this war scroll thing with AOS, but they've not with 40k. So with 40k, I'm still backwards and forwards in my book, and it's like, what's the toughness of your Demon Prince? And it's like, hang on a sec.
Yeah, exactly.
Does Typhus do anything? Hang on a sec.
Bear with me. Get a drink if you want.
What's the attack on your Death Shroud? Hang on a second.
Oh, I know that far too well. So is that, Dave? So I'm always worried about posting models. Honestly, Dave, you shouldn't be. And no one should be, to be honest. They're your models. They're yours. So, and if you want feedback, ask for it. If you don't, just post it and just let's get the community in that, bud. As you know.
Yeah, one of the things that I always tend to put out, like when people ask questions and stuff on my Instagram, they ask like about what are essential tools, what are the best things, best techniques and stuff to learn as a starter. And I remember what it was like when I first started. I learned dry brushing, I learned using washes, and I learned how to do base coats, and that was pretty much it. And that carried me for a couple of years on everything that I painted. And that was, I was happy to paint armies to just that standard. Yeah. It's only now when I've restarted getting into it that I tried to get more into some of the technical aspects of painting and actually work towards the quality side of things.
Yeah.
That I've started learning so much more. But I'm always happy whenever somebody wants to learn something about how I did a technique, what colors I used, to show them how to do it. And I always encourage anybody, regardless of whether they've just started their first model or whether they're on their like 5th army or anything like that, to always paint the way that they feel most comfortable painting. And you should always feel good about what you've painted, not comparing yourself to anybody else, because it's the same with anything. There's always somebody better than you out there. And your style as well is like there's the whole objective and subjective type thing, and your work may be objectively good. Like you've painted really well to a high technical degree, but you may not feel that it's good. So subjectively, you may think that your artwork is bad, but other people may still find it really good.
Well, that's it. I mean, another thing on that, it's like because obviously, as you know, I'm all contrast these days anyway, and again, speed. So when I posted the Leviathan on Facebook and elsewhere, and people saying, "Oh, it's really good," but I mean, I love it. Obviously, I'm not going to be like, "Oh no, don't like that comment." But when people said, what paints did you use to get that effect? I'm like, well, Corrux White Spray, Griff Charger Grey, and that's it. And they're like, what? Really? That's insane. It's like, yeah, honestly, just that. And, lo and behold, I mean, contrast, there is skill to contrast. There's different levels. Obviously, yeah, you can slap it on, all that stuff still looks decent. But then obviously then you have the pooling, you have all that kind of stuff, and you have the undercoat to give it a sheen, and like the armor and so on. I've got my Ideneth. I've done a lead belcher underneath, and then athematic blue over the top to give it like a teal shine kind of shimmer. So it's that kind of stuff really. So it's just learning ways to adapt contrast. It's like before, lead belcher was silicon grey over the top, perfect. Obviously, now I've seen your miniature. The idea now, I can see it come to life. I was like, yep, that's what I want. I'm going for it.
Yeah, I think one of my my Lord Castellant for my Stormcast is painted just with contrast paints. I've done a couple of like highlights here and there on it. Once I've finished with the contrast, but yeah, I paint it. It was for sort of like a little store birthday challenge for the Games Workshop in town, and it was basically paint a miniature in a day. Like, come to the store, paint an entire miniature, and that's what I did. I just used contrast again, undercoated lead belcher, went over it with black, used athematic blue on the scrolls and stuff, but was really careful with how smooth I did it across the scroll. Used a little bit of highlighting white here and there on the edges and stuff. And done and dusted in like less than 2 hours.
There you go. That's exactly that, and that's why I've managed to get through so many armies as well. So, so Dave, during his tournament, so he's fought against Warriors of Chaos, Daughters of Cain, and then overall since the Soulblight book, also won against SOB? Is that? Mine's going a bit.
SOB. What is SOB?
Stormcast Dinos. So I know that's Seraphon, and Flying Dwarfs. That's Kharadron Overlords. But SOB, Son of Babe.
Oh, Sons of Bahamut.
No, there you go. That's it.
The big Mega Gargants. Like Daughters of Cain is one of the ones that I've not faced in a while, and I fear Morathi. Like so the last time that I played against a Daughters of Cain army must have been like 2.5 years ago, and Morathi absolutely destroyed my stuff. Luckily, I managed to get like turn 1. I pushed up really far into his table half, took a few objectives, held them for a couple of turns, whilst my Gore Grunters and Gordrak held Morathi at bay. But they held Morathi at bay for 2 combats, and then 12 Gore Grunters and Gordrak was just gone. And then the rest of the game, my Ard boys just spent the time holding my back objectives, whilst Morathi just systematically went from one objective to the next, just killing them all.
Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Alejandro, wow. Welcome, mate. It's been a long time. Welcome to the Hobby Hangouts. We have Sarah with us as well, which is awesome. Yeah, the time has finally come. The new Hobby Hangout has arrived. And Alejandro, the one that announces himself, is here to support it. Yeah. Legend of a guy. Hope the exams have gone well as well. So Dave, I use contrast as technical paints. I like the bases I've done recently. They're very versatile. Yes, exactly that. Exactly that. It's one thing actually which I haven't done yet is use contrast for bases. So that's another good point. Might look to leverage that.
I've used contrast paints as glazes as well because they're like highly pigmented. If you when you're doing like a lot of layers and stuff, sometimes it can become a little bit dull and matte. And if you glaze it with one of the contrast paints, like thin down a little bit, either with water or like the contrast medium, you just glaze it over the color, and it really makes it vibrant. I did that on my Iron Jaws with the black armor and the yellow armor, and it just comes out really bright compared to what it was before.
Yeah, it's exactly that. So it's like there's a guy that I watch him on Twitch, Alchemist Painting. He's for me, he's a contrast guru. I've learned a lot from him, and he actually supports us as well. So whenever I show up, he says, "Oh, check out Dice Sagas, all that great stuff." But no, he's honestly a great guy, great contrast painter, and he's definitely a guy I would recommend for contrast paints as well. He streams like Mondays, Thursdays, that kind of thing during the day. But yeah, so what else we got? So yeah, Giants, Dave's right. I just fed Marathi zombies. Just keep her occupied with zombies. Yeah,
that's what I was saying before about things like Iron Jaws. They have the resources to just feed them chaff units to keep them at bay, but unfortunately, Iron Jaws don't have that, and they just don't have the frequent damage output other than in the combat phase to damage Marathi. And there's no way that I can feed Marathi enough stuff to keep her at bay with the Iron Jaws for the 4 turns that it takes to kill her and still maintain control of the board at the same time.
See, for me, I'm just like, I've never fought against her, so I've yet to feel the wrath. So I don't really have much to say on that, to be honest.
She's very difficult to deal with. I'm not saying like she's OP. It's a really cool mechanic that she's got that is, I think, unique to her.
Yeah.
And it really makes you think on how to deal with her. Like a lot of them do, like Tackless, who knows like 20 odd different spells, and can auto cast like 4 per turn. You've got Archeon, who can control how the game goes.
Yeah.
Nagash, that can just poof a unit out of existence.
Yeah, I've got Nagash. So.
Gordrak isn't really that great, and I don't think the Sylvaneth one is either. I kind of think that they're still a little bit underpowered for what the game is, especially because Gordrak doesn't do anything, again, outside of the combat phase. And even then, he can be screened really easily by zombies.
Fair. So it's going through chat again. So Dave says it's great as glazes. That's contrast paints we were talking about before. My Stormcast weapons are done with contrast over metal bases. Yeah, exactly that, Dave. It's just versatile, as you say. Cedar, welcome. I was going to say, it's been a long time since we've seen you here, but then again, it has been a month since the last stream, so that'll be why. Oh,
how often was it that you wanted to try and get these done now?
What do you mean?
The streams.
No, the streams. So, to be honest, we used to aim for at least once a week on a Thursday, hence we're doing it now. It used to be a Tuesday, and then Matt couldn't with scheduling problems really, so we moved to a Thursday. But then again, Matt's work kind of, it just changes now and again, because obviously he's on call tonight, so he can't exactly join. So for me, that's why I've done a lot of solo streams, to be honest, to try and keep the ball rolling. But it's been rather busy. But basically, it's actually been quite busy personally in terms of family and so on recently. So it's been a busy time. But yeah, I'm looking to get these streams up and running again because I thoroughly enjoy them and the chat, the great folks that join. And now Sarah, the legend, that is Sarah, who's become my game board game. Tell you what, I think you'd think that this is alcohol, right? It's not. It's green tea. It's the antioxidants. It's coming to my brain. It's like, oh,
needs more caffeine.
Yeah, true. Bloody do. Anyway, board game. So board gaming buddy, and then we're going to be venturing into some more live streams with Warhammer as well, which is going to be cool, and Kill Team and Warcry and everything in between. So
yeah, so like, I mean, if anybody would like, I've got my little Instagram hand. No, it's reversed. There we go. Down there. There we go. That's my Instagram handle, just if people are interested in having a look at my gallery and stuff. But I play Warhammer 40k. I play Age of Sigmar, Warcry, Kill Team, and play lots of miniature board games. I'm currently at the stage now with 40k and Age of Sigmar where I'm trying to get into some small tournaments. I'm not going for like any of the big ones. I'm most certainly not going to win any anytime soon, because
you're gonna win.
Well, you never know. I did win the small 1k tournament. That was pretty cool. Got some quality streets for winning that one and some paints. That was nice. But yeah, I'm now trying to sort of get a bit more competitive in our hobby league at Blame the Dice Wargaming.
Oh, yeah.
I'm currently 5-0 in the 40k.
Nice. Oh yeah. In fact, I think you posted that on your Insta recently, didn't you, about your battle that you had or something, about the number of wins you've had?
Yeah, Space Wolves and Custodies, I think.
Yeah,
with the last two. My Death Guard are pretty difficult to kill.
Sorry, I was just catching up with chat. I've survived the age of exams. Awesome. Thankfully, and yeah, it's been a long time. I bet you've missed my bad jokes and rants about elves. Yes, elves and Tau. I do miss that. Miss that thoroughly. Glad you're back. And Dave, I'll be happy to appear on stream one day if you're desperate. Yeah, honestly, I'm desperate all the time, mate. I'm just a desperate. No, honestly, as I've always said this, it's not a closed shop, the stream whatsoever. So again, Sarah's on the channel now, and hopefully we'll be on many more in the future as well. And I'm just putting it on the spot here now. So
whether you like it or not,
whether you like it or not, yeah, exactly. So and then I've also got some potential board game. Said it right this time. Board game folks coming on as well, which would be very cool. Talk all types of obviously like Kickstarters and other stuff down the line, as well as existing games, which is going to be very cool. Sarah, of course, welcome to that one. And yeah, so Dave, honestly, we'll arrange a time for yourself to join. That'll be cool. That was a very long-winded of saying, yeah, sure.
Yeah, we'll have you.
Yeah, but you can't just say yeah, sure, can you? It's like yeah, mate.
No. You gotta give them the full reasons as to why.
Howdy. Oh, Nuno. Tell you what, all the legends are showing up tonight. How's it going? How is it going? How's the narrative scene? I think Keegan is. I think his campaign's doing quite well. His Discord's doing all right, isn't it? Got quite a lot of narrative folks. I think he's actually, because I know we're on his Discord and got our own little section, but I think he's looking to get us into the narrative AOS side announcements page or something. I need to look at what he's put, and then I'll action whatever he has requested. You wouldn't think he had a full-time job, right? Full-time job, a wife, and yeah, somehow I managed to squeeze it all in. AOS narrative scene is busy, as mythical as that may sound. That's awesome, because Nuno, actually, speaking of people appearing on the channel, Nuno actually joined the channel a good number of months ago now, but to talk about the narrative scene, getting it out there. which is cool because, in all honesty, I didn't really know much about the narrative scene whatsoever. Obviously, and then Nuno explained a lot, and then reached out to Keegan as well. He's another great guy who has the Great Weave. And again, we're a part of the Great Weave kind of community there as well. And it's just a whole massive collaboration. It's just epic. You just don't know at all that it exists until, that's why you need to keep promoting, shouting out, and getting good folks interested in the narrative side to obviously join.
I think Warcry is especially did a really good job of getting people interested in narrative for armies.
Oh yeah, Keegan finished the Rumtai campaign. I'm going to stick with Rumtai campaign, and now Narrative Labs is starting another one with live games until December. Yeah, I was going to say Narrative Labs. They're another folk. I'll tell you what, I'm going to relabel this Hobby Hangout to Hobby Hangout dash shoutouts. Just giving everyone a shout out today. Why not? It's an awesome community.
Well, that's it. You were celebrating getting the community function, and here comes the community.
Exactly that. I tell you what, legends one and all. So in terms of Narrative Labs, they are another. Basically, yeah, obviously it's in the name, very narrative kind of group, and they do live streams on Twitch. I have actually joined a few. I haven't really collaborated with them yet, but might reach out one day and just see what's what. Dave, right, I bid you farewell, fare thee well. Early start tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of the stream. Yes, no, honestly, Dave, appreciate you stopping by. Thank you. They lurk in the shadows, but when you find them, oh boy, their events are beautiful. Yeah, no, it's true. Very true. I think Matt actually got involved quite heavily with the last big campaign. I was too busy trying to get ourselves out there as well. I was too busy with Dice Sagas in that sense. Matt was able to get himself out there and join one of the campaigns, which was cool.
I really need to write up my short narrative for my orcs as well to get that sorted.
Yeah, that'll be
after I told your ear off about it last time.
And I had to glue it back on. But no, it'd be awesome that even if, as I said before, I was saying this to Matt as well, that we, in terms of our narrative battle reports, we are steering away slightly from what we have the current format now. So you will see, I've got some battle reports I need to work on. Plus, we've got our own campaign as well that we're getting up and ready. So I just need to create the video for that, get the maps ready. We've got the kind of point system, how you're going to be scoring, how you're going to contribute. So we've got all that kind of good stuff ready as well, which is cool. It's just, so we're just picking and choosing a time when we can get cracking on with it, really. So so I'm actually really looking forward to getting stuck into that. And this is where the community tab, now we have it, is even better, because now we can actually utilize that and get people to vote and do things, what actions are going to be taken on what city, what village, town, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So is that going to be something that's going to go active on like you say, with the battle reports and stuff like that?
Yeah, so we're going to name drop. So myself, Matt, obviously Sarah as well, yourself, will be we'll have battles and stuff like that. The community will have their own. They'll basically pick a side of which side they want to basically fight for. So it's going to be the long story short, Beast of Chaos, and then you got the elves from city of I think it's Avalon, I believe. And then so basically we got two settlements waging war upon each other across the lands, and within that we've got different settlements and so on, and obviously territories, maps, colors, all that jazz. And then we're going to have people choosing sides, so whether they fight for the Beast of Chaos, whether they fight for the elves, and you basically, whoever wins, you report back on your battle. Obviously then you get certain victory points towards that goal, that who it's basically who wins that kind of conflict. Plus ours And then on top of that, we'll also name drop their characters too within the battle reports that we do. So yeah, we got there's tons of stuff that we will be doing that's going to get the community involved. I can't wait to get stuck into it, to be honest. I just need to do the video.
Well, I've got at least 3 fully painted armies anyway that could be used with it. I've got my Bone Splitters, my Iron Jaws, and my Nighthaunt that can come in, and they all have their own unique characters as well.
Oh, there you go. There you go. So which side would you be siding with?
It's always destruction. It's always destruction. The never-ending cycle of move, bash, beat,
that would
repeat.
lean towards Beast of Chaos then, because it's going to be Beast of Chaos against elves, and then you got to basically say, okay, I'm going to fight with blah blah. Or basically, you don't say you're fighting alongside, should I say, not with. So it's you can destruction. Go.
I guess we'll go for the for the narrative reasons. It will be with the Beast of Chaos because my orcs don't like elves. It's a deep-seated hatred all the way from the old world.
Yeah, so you're fitting with Alejandro because Alejandro is actually the army that's waging war. So it all actually stemmed from discussions within Discord, and then they kept the elves and Alejandro with going at each other, obviously humorously, and then me and Matt was like, "Yep, those two are going to be the cause for the conflicts." So then that's where we're starting off.
Excellent. As long as there's enough bodies for the orcs to smash, that's fine.
Oh, yeah, plenty. Animosity was busy. 5 weeks online. Insanity. I can imagine. I can just imagine.
Oh yeah, it's one of the things that the orcs have learned to let go over the years after they lost the original animosity rules. They were so crazy. I don't even know why they bothered putting those in.
Yeah, Alejandro. So the war between the shiny goats and the hippie knife. It's already happened. No, it's Alejandro. It's not actually happened yet. So that's the campaign that we're going to get started. We were aiming for September. Basically, a lot of things happened. Matt's availability, plus I had a few family issues as well. So we're in a better place now. So we're going to look to get that up and running probably November by the time we get the video out there. And yeah, probably through November, December. Why not make it a merry slaughter? That sounds amazing. Yes, it does, Nuno. Preach. Cheers.
The beasts of Christmas past.
Yeah, exactly that. So do you have a date? So as I was saying before, we'll probably go for November. Once I have a date, it'll be all announced in Discord as well, so you won't miss it. Well, Discord and elsewhere. every little channel we have. How's your assembly coming along, Sarah? Is it?
He's coming along.
Yeah,
Nice looking bike.
I'm just there. In fact, let me just get this.
I'm just trying. I'm having to sort of assemble it in a few different pieces because I want to do sub assemblies on it. Make sure that I get all the underneath bits and stuff. Because the legs, the arms, and stuff like that are all separate, and I want to paint his body separate to the bike.
Yeah. That makes sense. Well, I've done one Reaver so far. I love the dynamic pose.
Some of those kits, especially some of the older kits, take ages. I put together the Judicators, a unit of 10 Judicators, and I think in total they took me about 2.5 hours, all snipping, cutting, cleaning, sticking together and stuff. 2.5 hours for 10 models.
That is a session. I'm just the hell number isn't it? 16. Oh, dearie me. Oh, there you are. Snippity snip snip.
Are there any of the people who are regular watchers and stuff who have watched any and given any feedback on the Twilight Imperium videos or the Marvel United one or anything like that yet?
No, because Not yet, anyway, because again, it's kind of
different community group,
huh?
different sort of community group type thing.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah. So what I'm looking to do is, well, grow the community of that board games as well, and this is why now we've got the community tab on YouTube. It'll help us actually start posting some board game stuff, some other stuff, and let that community grow side by side. Because, in my opinion, a lot of people who play tabletop games also play board games or have played board games. So yeah, I mean, we will be asking for feedback and so on in time. But to be honest, the video for Twilight Imperium hasn't been done yet, so I'll be.
Oh, okay.
I'm still working on that. I've got the unboxing video, and then I've got the actual video. Cause you know me, I like my effects. I like jazzing it up a bit. So, and I've actually watched I love it. I'm going to definitely do this next time as well. You know, the diary that we did.
Yeah.
For the players, I'm definitely doing that next time. Because I watched yours and I watched mine and watched Jono's, and I was getting all giddy.
I was trying to remember what it was that I said. Like, did any of the predictions come true as to what the game plan was?
To be honest, they did. Jono's was, because basically, I might as well tell you, it's going to be online anyway, so you'll find out. But it did exactly what I thought he would do, which was, turtle. So basically, he had his little, he had his little region, and then the minute anyone becomes a target, he would then buddy up with the other person, which I know full well that was his tactic all along.
And all of a sudden, his entire army just comes through a wormhole right next to my base.
Yeah, exactly that. So, but no, honestly, the whole thing about the diary thing, I just made it so much more exciting as well, and especially when it's actually on there, when I've compiled it all and stuff, it'll be a good watch. But I'm looking to do, hopefully, next time we do it, on the, when is it, 14th of November, I think?
The Sunday, I think.
Yeah. I might look to try and do a live stream on YouTube, for the whole period of time.
Okay.
So, because I mean, in terms of like connectivity and all that, it's perfectly fine. Battery, all that stuff, obviously, just get it connected because it will be done through the phone anyway. The only thing that I need to do or figure out is because obviously it'll all be live, that the diary thing. What I'm going to suggest is, because obviously it won't be all effects like at the back, but you can take it off, go away, talk, chat, and then you can just put it back there, kind of stuff.
Yeah. Because then once you've got the video and stuff, you can then edit those parts out.
Yeah, exactly. So
put them where you need
to. Some good fun, good times ahead for sure for that. And this is another reason why I like board games, because it's totally broadened the horizons and in terms of what I can get into and explore and express on the channel as well, like creativity wise and stuff. So yeah, that is cool.
All new world.
Exactly that. I hated my judicators. I couldn't get the.
I had that problem. Like I made like two judicators, the ones with the, I think it's like the star shot ones, whatever the 1 in 5 arrow ones are, and it took me ages to try and align them because I stuck the arms on first and then I tried to stick the hands on, and the elbow joint wouldn't go on because they were a little bit skewed. So I had to basically start constructing them the opposite way around by putting the arms onto the hands with the bow first and then putting it onto the body. But even then, they didn't align properly because they're a really weird angle and they're not all in the same pose. So you don't know where they're going to go.
That's a bit lame.
So I had a lot to do on my fingers on that day.
So, I mean, to be honest, I've never obviously used them, so I can't really, again, say much on that topic. But
they look really nice once they're finished, but they're an absolute pain to try and put together.
Mm-hmm. Just trying to think, what's my least favorite model to assemble? to assemble even. Thought Nighthaunt can be very, very fine in the when you're snipping things off. To be honest, nothing's really been overly. I mean, even like as soon as I've done one Spirit Host, I was like, okay, I've got this. That was a bit of a pain.
I don't think the instructions were clear enough on how everything fit together.
No, that's what I mean. As soon as I'd done one, I was like, okay, I'm okay now. But getting that one done, that I suppose, yeah, I'd probably say Spirit Host. Then I think they were the least friendly.
Like I don't know if anybody else has done these. The Slaanesh Fiends. I got given, well, not given. I paid for the Slaanesh half of, I think the Wrath and Rapture box. I think that's what it was called. The one with Khorne and Slaanesh demons in it.
Right.
And I didn't get given the instructions. And the Slaanesh Fiends are absolutely impossible to try and figure out how they go together without the instructions. I couldn't find the instructions online. I tried having a look for them.
Yeah.
And I just basically spent, I think, 3 hours trying to figure out which bits went with which bit.
That's not good.
No, because the toe joints look very similar, but some don't connect in quite right. And it was one of those ones where I tried this one. No, that one doesn't fit. I tried this one. That one doesn't fit. Oh, it must be the third one. Oh, this one doesn't fit. Man. It was driving me crazy.
Not what you want. Yeah, that's not great. To be honest, if it was me, I don't know whether I'd bother with it. I'd be like, oh, obviously you spent money on it, so I guess you would, but that just sounds like a nightmare.
It's one of the ones, though, that, again, like with my Caradron Overlords and my Ogre tribes, I've got them as sort of like a small Warcry-sized army, but I don't ever think that I'm going to turn them into an actual proper army for Age of Sigmar.
Okay.
Oh no, I want this to go together now.
So I was in concentration mode then as well. Make sure that things don't fall apart. Guys in chat as well. So as you probably noticed, obviously for the folks as well who watched after, we're venturing into the board game arena. So you've obviously seen a few posts around board games, and obviously appreciate you stopping by and liking, commenting, and all that jazz as you do. But is there any board games that you guys actually are interested in seeing too, or what you actually currently play even? Because that'll be interesting to know. Because Sarah's got a load of board games. I've probably got about a quarter of what you have, if that. So yeah, so it'd be quite interesting to find out whether, again, like the guys in chat, whether obviously you folks dabble with board games too. That'd be very cool.
I mean, is it possible to do like what I sent to you, like put up a list or something, maybe in the Discord or wherever's best, and just see which games people are interested in, and then we could have a look at that, because I'm pretty sure all the games that I've got are ones that you've not personally played.
Oh yeah, I know full well. Apart from Seven Wonders, I know full well I haven't played them. Apart from Marvel United now, so that's another one. We're going through the list.
But you liked it enough to purchase both of the base games.
The reason, yeah, exactly that. And I think the reason behind that is it's a game where I can get other family members who aren't really into long board games, get those guys involved as well. So I think that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, no, I think I might put that in like as a poll, actually, in the community in Salesforce. That's my work in the community for YouTube. So and then just have like a few games, and then which one would you like to see next? So I'd like to see on the channel, and then we can pick from there. And I'm going to put in brackets afterwards saying pick aliens.
Yeah, I mean that would make a pretty good let's play, because there's so much stuff that you could use, reference material and whatnot for the video itself.
Yeah, that's it. As long as it's I'll tell you what, it's like, I think as long as in terms of fair use, a lot of the, as long as you reference it, it's like as long as you reference it, then you're fine pretty much.
Even if it's just saying quotes and stuff from the game. I mean, the game itself has a lot of content from the movies. They've all got like quotes and stuff from each of the characters, and I'm pretty happy with the fact that they included all of the minor characters as well, like the ones who, spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen Aliens, die within the first 5 minutes of appearing on screen.
Yeah. That's cool. That's one of the things I just want to say when we get around to playing it is, it's game over, man. It's game over. It's a film I'm going to have to watch that again soon. I haven't seen it in a while now, actually.
We could play the dynamic duo and be Gorman and Burke and see how long they can survive.
Yeah, exactly that. All right, I'm on my third Reaver. 3 out of 10. But no, that Twilight Imperium game as well. I'm looking for, because obviously the dynamics that we have, because obviously now I've obviously played a few games with yourself, and obviously Twilight Imperium. Obviously I've known Jono for like 10 years. So I'm looking for another individual who, obviously in a collection of basically friends per slot, in a sense, because I know certain friends, just knocking the table, certain friends would definitely not be interested in a long game like that. But there are some who questionably, will possibly be interested as long as they sell it to them right. And I think the minute they get playing it, then they'd be like, this is awesome. Because it is. It's epic. Oh, here we go. Alejandro, the legend. I want to buy Aliens, Another Glorious Day in the Corps.
Yes, that is the only reason you need to buy it.
Yeah.
Like, if it's your turn and you can't, give a quote from Aliens, that's it. Your character insta dies.
Exactly. So, Alejandro, that is a game. In fact, that is a game that will appear on the channel.
The only expansion part that I don't have yet is the Alien Queen and the Power Loader one. I've got the Ultimate Badass expansion, which allows the Marines to have upgrade paths as you're playing through the campaign. And I also got the asset collection, so all of the tokens and stuff like alien eggs, face huggers, the gun turrets, computer terminals are all now 3D plastic miniatures.
Oh, cool. Tell you what, I think you're going to make me broke. Just because I know full well when I play this, I'm going to be like, yep, I want it all.
Well, there's not too many expansions for it. Like, there's the A Glorious Day in the Corps, which is the base game. There's the Get Away From Her, You Bitch expansion, which is the one with the Queen and Ripley in the Power Load with, I think, Bishop as well. I think Bishop is in that one. Then there's the Ultimate Badass, which is the one that includes a few more Marine characters, like the secondary Marine characters, and the upgrade path cards. And then there's the plastic assets. That's pretty much it.
Cool. Dear Santa, I would like... Just writing my Christmas list now.
I've been really good this year.
I've been really good this year. I've made lots of friends. Can you please get me...
Please subscribe to my YouTube.
Santa as well. Whilst you're at it, the millions of people who contact you, write back and say subscribe to Dice Sagas.
Yeah, just wait. You wake up Christmas morning and you've got like about 13 million subscribers.
It exists. It's real. It's real. I'll love it. Alejandro, the Alien Queen expansion is glorious. Yeah. I've actually seen it. It's the miniature as well. I've seen. That's cool.
Yeah, it's like one of the things I was really impressed with was the detail on the actual aliens themselves. Like they've not made them chunky, and like even the tails are really sleek.
That's cool. Again, these are the types of things where I like to paint as well. These guys, so that'd be cool. If I do get it, that is. Obviously, want to play it first.
Oh yeah, it'll be really fun to play. Like I haven't played any of them, so I'll probably have to get accustomed to the rules first, or we can just try and figure it out when we pop it out of the box.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Because those Marines weren't ready to go into that colony. Why should we be any different? Exactly
that. We're gonna be like, we walk in, and then it'd be like, we'd be talking to each other, and I'd be like, "Ooh, red button. What does that do?" Game over straight away. Aliens come out everywhere. Like, oh, great. It's shiny. I want to push the button. Right, 31 and 30. Where are you, numbers? Nope, found you. You sneaky little devil. I'm always torn between music choices as well. When streaming. Because sometimes I'm like, oh, I could do the little pick me up, which is I tend to put on a bit of rock. But it's always that a lot of streamers to see out there. I mean, obviously it's because I do watch a lot. But sometimes they obviously just don't have any music on. You tend to find more music with Twitch streamers. But but a lot of YouTube streamers don't really see, play music in this behind the scenes, all that kind of stuff when they're doing live content. But for me, it's funny, it's all feedback as well that I'd like, because if the music's, this is why I chose this type, because it's quite mellow, quite chilled, and well, especially in the UK, it's quite late, so it's quite mellow. You can hobby hang out, we're chilling, talking, having a laugh. If you're playing rock music and it's too heavy, it'd be like aggravated, like painting, like gluing.
Usually when I'm painting and stuff, I'll have like real hard drum and bass and stuff like that on. That helps me concentrate.
For me personally, I tend to listen to any type of music, to be honest. If I'm not streaming, but because I'm streaming, I try to be considerate of everyone and try to be a lot more mellow.
Yeah, don't want to be dropping any real harsh hip hop or anything in the background.
No, exactly that.
Just in case there might be an offensive lyric floating around.
Yeah, that new Instagram feature, I thought that was pretty good though.
Yeah, like that person mentioned there, it shows up as being published by two people. Yeah. I think it's pretty good. Instead of just tagging somebody, it shows on both feeds, which I think would really, like I was saying, is going to help with because it shows between both your followers and my followers as well.
That's it, and just allows collaboration between obviously different folks as well. If any talks and all that jazz happen, so that's cool. So obviously, the minute someone comments, I'm like, oh, there's a comment, not someone I know, and I was like, hello, Dice Sagas over. Did you know Santa? I know Santa. If you're good this year and subscribe, then you get presents.
Oh no, I'm getting models stuck to my fingers now. I've got glue on my thumb whilst I'm trying to hold it to the model.
Dear me.
There we go.
So I'm trying to do as well. I'm trying to figure out how the hell this leg goes. Okay, so you're bending the knee. It's a bend. Okay. Yes. I have got you now.
Just had to make the ridiculously difficult decision of which head do I go with for my chaplain? Do I go with the bear head or do I go with the helmeted head? I've gone with the bear head. Just because I want to do more
You want to
more
do more
face
eyes,
painting and stuff.
You want to get the eyes in.
Oh yeah.
So who doesn't like eyes? Oh no. Glue's dry.
It's usually the very, very last thing that I try to do.
Just trying to get some glue out because... Oh, there you go. It's overflowing now. Yeah, so obviously when I stream most of the time, I do stream on YouTube, but I will try out. Oh, you stupid plonker! I will try. See, I'm quite proud of myself there for not swearing. Tell you what, I'm trying to
catch yourself. Keep it PG.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I've got too many nieces and nephews these days, so I'm like trying to reduce my swearing for those guys as well. But yeah, oh, there you go. Yep, got you. I got you. So yeah, but yeah, I wouldn't mind streaming trying it on Instagram as well, depending on obviously what type.
Yeah, you tend to get a lot of people coming through on, again, like watching hobby hangouts and stuff.
On YouTube, that's kind of that's our community kind of hub in a sense. So obviously, I'm not straying away from that.
No, I mean, if you're going to do it on like Instagram and stuff, I think a lot of people do tend to keep it like down to an hour or something like that. And with the like story feature on Instagram, it only lasts for like 24 hours, so you can't really give too much notice to people.
No. Well, this is the plan, because ideally, what I want to happen is, I want it to be like a weekly, like a schedule kind of thing set up as well, just for myself, and obviously it just makes life easier for anyone who wants to join as well. So at this moment in time, we are looking at Thursdays in terms of getting out there and stuff like that for hobby hangouts. But I will be looking to, I don't know, probably about next few weeks or even possibly next weekend, depending. But I will be looking to do like quite a long stream on YouTube as well, trying to do as much hobby as possible on a weekend. But the thing is, obviously, I don't want to try and another thing I don't want to do is do things like that and then expectation is that that's going to happen more frequently, because it will not happen more frequently. But I need to find a schedule of some sort.
Some things that I've seen, a lot of people who go between various different platforms like YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, that type of thing. They'll usually put up like a weekly schedule.
Yeah, when I used to stream on Twitch. I used to stream on Twitch quite a lot, like games. I taught Warhammer. I did Super Smash Bros. And Resident Evil and stuff. And
Resident Evil. Resident Evil, I love Resident Evil.
And I was like, scared. But no, so I used to have like a weekly schedule. So basically it wasn't there enough for like Monday to Friday. And I'm just getting my face off screen. Monday to Friday, and from like 9 till 12 or 9 till 11, that kind of stuff. Mainly just because of, again, work. And then weekends, it was just like, wife time, family time, that kind of thing. But I just couldn't keep up with that schedule because Twitch is a different beast altogether. Because especially when you're streaming games, it's like you have to do the hours. You have to do so much, and you'll have like live content. Like, but with YouTube and the platform, obviously Dice Sagas, we create videos, create content, and then Hobby Hangouts live streams are as and when kind of thing. So it's a lot more achievable for my lifestyle to obviously accommodate that. That's why I'm looking at least once a week, which I could potentially do more, but I don't want to commit to more because I know full well if I commit to more, then I won't be able to. I won't be able potentially to keep it up. So I need to at least do once a week, and then a bonus for any other days that I can do.
Yeah, that's still pretty good.
Because I mean, once a week, and then there's content once a week anyway on a Thursday that comes out.
I mean, like you say, even with the fact that it's been a month or however long since the last one, you've still had tons of people popping up.
Yeah, no, honestly, Legends
everybody's wanting to see what's been going on. Give everybody some updates and stuff on what everyone's been doing.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's been awesome. And I'll tell you what, the community. Well, again, it's a small community so far, but the community that we've built so far, it's an awesome foundation. We've got some great people for sure. So it just makes hobby hangouts like this even better as well because you just have such good laugh with them. So. Right, I have glued her legs. Now what next? The body. 32. Where are you? Oh, there you are. It's quite funny actually because I can delving into. Oh, hold on. The chat's come alive for Alejandro. I've managed to introduce my girlfriend to miniature games.
Oh yes, it's the way. Trying to get the other half into miniature games is it's an achievement.
Yeah, so I can appreciate that. The wife, obviously Sarah, you've met her. The wife, she's tried AOS, didn't really like it. So she likes Skaven just because the rats and cute, apparently. But she didn't really like the format, the style, just too much kind of stuff. So, but like board games is where she's at. She enjoys like Seven Wonders, Risk, and what do you call it? I think we played Villains not like a while back. So she enjoys those type of games as well. So that's, I can appreciate getting the other half into board games or games in general. I've become a living meme of the community. Oh, I love it. Seed is asking, Alejandro, what games did you get your girlfriend into? Or game, even. We need this vital information. We need to spread the news.
Yeah, so if there's anything interesting, we can have a look at it as well.
Exactly. Come on, Alejandro. Sharing is caring. Tell you what, these Reavers are one of my favorite miniatures so far. They just look so good, so dynamic. All right, I am missing now the. Ooh, are you running? Yes, you are running. That's pretty cool. Because there's a mixture of two poses with the Reavers. And so far I've glued two, which are actually taking shots. This one, she's like holding her arm outstretched with the bow at the back, arm in the front, and she's like sprinting kind of thing. So that's cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Not everyone has to shoot. Although ideally in the game, yes, please.
Yeah. It's like, well, I'm gonna roll 10 dice for these ones. Like, well, actually, you've not modelled that one as shooting.
Exactly. So... Oh, darn it.
I think it's pretty good though that, like, especially with a lot of different weapon combinations that you can have in the game, that people don't hold you to the one that you specifically build them with. Because, like, at the time when I first started collecting Iron Jaws, the gore choppers were what are they? Pig iron choppers, I think it's called, with the gore grunters. They were really good. They were the better of the two weapons. So I modeled all of my gore grunters with them. Then in the next version of the battle tome, Games Workshop decided, nah, the other version is the better weapon. And now in this edition, the same weapon is just as good. So, like, all of my guys have got the pig iron choppers, and I'm like, they've actually got gore hackers. They're just really short gore hackers.
Oh, there you go. No, I get that. With my character in Overlords, the Thunderers pretty much gave them each weapon and like unique weapon. And I was like, okay, just for I thought, right, okay, different items. Oh, that's pretty cool. Now I just wish to just give them all the main gun, just because it's better, just for rolling, remembering as well, and consistency. It's just so much better to give them the one type of gun. But
but saying that though, that's what I did with my Thunderers. I gave each one of the unique guns.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly that. Alejandro, so mainly Zombicide. I've played that before. That is a very good game. And Necromunda, which I played, but not the recent version. It was the original one, I think. I played.
Is it the is it the modern Zombicide?
Oh, to be honest, yeah, there's quite a lot of because I did check it out the other day. Actually, again, it's another game I'm thinking of getting, but I saw a few different versions. Isn't the one where there's it's like a fancy, like where there's wolves and it's like a kind of witch hunter kind of theme going?
Yeah, that's the one that I've got, which is the Black Plague and Green Horde. Oh, so okay, the one I've got is sort of like the fantasy version of it.
Ah, that's cool.
They're in the same world as well as the Massive Darkness board game.
Ooh, interesting. Connections.
And they have lots of crossovers in terms of like the characters and the enemies and stuff.
Oh, there you go. I think that's going to write itself.
I got something at Christmas from Simon, who are the people who do the Zombicide board game. I've not been able to use it yet, and I've not actually started painting them, but I'll show you what I won. They're actually worth quite a bit of money as well.
Oh, very cool.
There we go. Just in case you wanted sort of like a themed Zombicide thing, I've got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Zombicide models.
That's awesome. Bloody hell.
So, I don't think they're bad guys, but you can play as all 4 of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And if you wanted to, rather than playing as the heroes, you can play as the villains. So you've got like Shredder, Krang, Bebop, and Rocksteady as well.
Oh, Bebop and Rocksteady, yeah. That's awesome, though.
But yeah, like at Christmas time, they did like the 12 days of Simon. And like each day they were giving away like a different rare model pack. And that came up and I was like, I'll just leave a comment saying that I really want them. And then I got a message back saying like, hey, you've won. I was like, what? Really? Okay, I'll take that.
That's cool.
But they're worth like 75 quid a box.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. Yeah. That's really good, though.
And for Arcadia Quest as well, I managed to get a hold of these little things. Again, I think it's from the same comic company who do it, but I got the Usagi Yojimbo guys. I don't know if you can see them very well. Can you?
See it briefly, yeah. I mean, so there's a sec. Hold on. It's going to be quite close now. There you go. Yeah, we can see it.
There. So Usagi Yojimbo. I don't know if people know who he is anyway. It's like a samurai rabbit.
Yeah.
And he appeared in the Turtles. I don't know if you can see that very well. Those are the characters.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, I can see it.
So who have we got? Miyamoto Usagi, Murakami Gennosuke, and Kitsune.
There you go. I think, hold on.
If that means anything to anybody.
I think it does. That comes that, I think. She's see that she likes a variety of actions that each fighter can do. Necromunda, yeah. Necromunda's. I haven't played the new version, but I've only played the old. Nuno Oman 80s fiction franchise crossover bonanza.
Yeah, I mean,
really been a golden age. There you go.
Everybody loves the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Everybody loves zombies. So
exactly.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus zombies has got to be a winner.
Got to be something. Yeah, I played Zombicide, but it was I think it's the original when I played. It was a great game,
those ones there. There's a second edition which has come out of the modern version, and those box sets for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have got both the first edition and second edition cards for them.
Oh, that's cool. So, yeah, that's versatile then. Boo, where are you? Number 28. I'm going insane. Go play Mordheim, y'all. Yeah, Mordheim. I have actually played that as well. I'm a very old player here, so Mordheim. You'll never get emotionally attached to your models again during campaigns. Honestly, Mordheim was such a good game. I did love that.
I think that was one of the games that I missed out on. I don't think I've ever played Mordheim. I've seen it as a video game.
Yeah. But no, it was such a good game. I had a vampire because I had an undead kind of faction. Zombies were kind of by the by, but my vampire got blinded in one eye, so his ballistic skill went down to 1. I was like, oh, don't mind, just cosmetic, just because they don't shoot anyway. But no, Mordheim was cool. I'd love to get hold of Mordheim. Yeah, if you can, I'd definitely, as Nuno says, definitely recommend it. All right, I have lost either lost my marbles or this sprue is lying to me. You pick which one you think it is.
Is it one of those ones where it says, oh, you need this part, and you can't find that part on the sprue?
I can't find that damn number, even though it says 28. There's no 28 with the relevant item associated with it. So it's nonsense.
I have found on a couple of sprues that the number that they're talking about is labeled incorrectly on the actual sprue as a different number.
I came across that once, Not many, but... Although maybe not. I get very attached to my little people. Yes, don't we all? Apart from zombies. Zombies, skeletons, I'm like, pew, go away. It's fine.
Hey, every one of those zombies used to be a real person.
Keyword there. Keyword. Used to. Nuno was? Question mark. Oh dear. Must have pushed a button there. Mordheim is growing strong again. Events in whole UK and Italy too. Wow, okay.
I've not been to Hull in a very, very long time.
I've not been at all, so it's the journey. See, it's worth it. Yeah, I've got to admit though, it is a good game. Not was
as good as Warhammer Quest.
In my opinion, it is. If it was out now, it would be one of my main games that I'd play, if not the main game. Let's put it that way.
Like what part of the Warhammer age was it set in?
So it was when Vlad was alive, Vlad von Carstein, and then in terms of the actual exact dates, I'm not too sure. Obviously, a quick Google search will show you that. But I know it's when Vlad was there because he sent his minions over to get the juicy stones, the warp stones.
Warp stones. So there was Ratzes.
Oh yes, flooded. And then there's bounty hunters. There is people you can actually hire as well to join your warband, and they have a certain set bunch of skills. So you have different characters, a vast range of characters, from like an elf assassin to elf. Basically, I don't think he was an assassin actually. I think it was more just a I can't remember his damn name, but that's years ago. But he had like a hood on, a long cloak, sword that hung out from the back, and he was like one of the best fighters around. And what else? There's another guy who like just loved throwing knives and a load of shit like that. And so it was, I swore, damn, but a load of knives and stuff like that. So that was cool. And there's a witch hunt warband as well, which is very, very. Oh, I love that one. But my main one was vampires that I used mainly. Vampire, I think I had a necromancer. They were called dregs or something, like these hunchback kind of guys. Then yeah, zombies.
It sounds pretty good. Like it sounds as though that was kind of where they were almost intending to go with the cursed city before that became a cursed product, and they just it almost disappeared off of Games Workshop's radar forever. It's like, no, we didn't make Cursed City. What game are you talking about?
Exactly that. But no, it's because you had like a treasury pot as well, and obviously when your guys die, you have to then recruit more, and that start off with 0 experience. Or I think if you spent more on them, you could gain a little bit of experience. But like if they're fighting on top of like a bridge or like certain thing, and they fall, they could potentially get broken arm or broken legs, or there's a whole raft of like wound tables, and also they could die as well. It just,
it sounds like it's kind of built the same way as sort of like how Gorkamorka and I think Necromunda is as well. Or I don't know if Necromunda goes into it as much as in much detail as that, because I know Gorkamorka used to have it where at the end of battles you could get damage to your eye, which meant you were at like -1 ballistic skill. But then you could go to a doc, and the doc could try to fix you a bionic eye. And sometimes, you went in for a bionic eye and came out with a mechanical leg instead.
All right. Yeah, so it's basically similar in that sense.
Yeah, I could see how you would get obsessed with that.
No, yeah. Especially there's like, back then I was what? When I played it must have been about 15, 16 something. So yeah, it was many moons ago. And
back in the SDA.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that is just like the first of its kind that I've ever come across, and I was like, mind blowing.
probably why I'm so nostalgic for Gorkamorka and Warhammer Quest, was because those were the types of games that I first got into with Warhammer, and getting so attached to your characters and even getting to customize your models to look like if I gave one a bionic eye, I would try to kit bash a bionic eye onto one of them.
Exactly.
They lost their legs and they had a wheel instead of legs. I would kit bash a version of him with a wheel instead of his actual legs, and it meant that your warband just kept evolving over time, and they looked exactly how they were supposed to be on their roster.
Oh yeah, no, exactly that. And that's, to be honest, we did something very similar to that as well with the back in the day.
Back in the day. It'd be cool to get something like that going as well, but I've got all the rules and stuff like that for Gorkamorka. I ended up getting given a bunch of orc bosses and all sorts of stuff like that. But I think at the minute where we're not kids anymore, where we could just focus on one game, it's very difficult to sort of commit yourself to that type of game amongst everything else.
Yeah, well, that's it. And this is why when I spoke with Matt before about the Path to Glory and stuff, I was like, I like the idea of it, but I've got too many armies, too little time to actually focus on like one warband or one something just to continue it growing for such a long time. Because unless we do a very short campaign or something, but it's just, I've got like 7 armies. If I was to do Path to Glory campaign fully, then I probably won't touch about 3 or 4 of them for like a year.
I think Warcry is probably easier in that respect because the games themselves can literally take only 3 turns to play.
Yeah.
And you can then go on to the next one. You could easily play 3 or 4 games in an evening.
Sure.
And that's like almost half of your campaign, because I think it's like 9 games or 8 games or something to complete a campaign.
Yeah. Alright, so I've gone through the list. They've mislabeled it.
They've mislabeled it.
They've just wasted me about flipping about half hour. Morons.
They want to see your dedication to the to the hobby.
Yeah. These swines. Sorry.
Hobby swines.
I'm
nearly done with the chaplain anyway, doing all of his sub-assemblies.
Good stuff. So I've assembled 3 chaps. I think it's obviously time-wise now. I think I'm going to call it in a second, but quickly go through chat to see if we've something. There's quite a few kits with mislabeled parts. I usually look for the next number. This is it though, Fax Painter. This is literally just spent half hour just looking for 28 when it's actually 25. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
Games Workshop is there going, yes, we have a quality control section.
Yeah. Well, we know that in the rules that they don't.
Yeah,
We know
the
that.
quality control is called the players.
Yeah. I think it was supposed to be a few hundred years before the end times. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Cedar. It was. This is the thing. Is when Vlad was alive and kicking. Or then again, he's alive and kicking in end times for whatever reason.
So the end times were between Age of Sigmar and the Old World, wasn't it? When the world collapsed on itself, and then the Age of Sigmar, or the new world, was created.
Yeah. I mean, you can blame certain individuals. You can do whatever you want, but some of it, I mean, it's a whole. We could dedicate a whole bloody hour to it, because again, as a player who played Warhammer for like 15 years, it was a very difficult thing, but at the same time, obviously, the time has definitely moved on, and I'm now just enjoying Age of Sigmar. And although the Warhammer the Old World, that's obviously coming out, and I've already said, because there's a guy, Mark, who I used to like have a lot of games with, and for fantasy, and he's saying, "Oh, you know, are you going to get into this now and stuff?" And I was like, "No." As much as I loved Warhammer Fantasy, I was like, I just can't do it, just because I've basically, you know, it's been how long has it been now? 6 years or something since AOS. Can't remember how many years now. It's been 5 years.
Yeah, you're looking at roughly 6 or 7 years, because the previous Age of Sigmar, the new ones, the Soul Wars or wherever it is, that was at least 3.5 years ago, at least, because it was still the Nighthawk had just come out before I started collecting Iron Jaws, which was about 3 years ago.
Okay, there you go. So yeah, so it was a long time ago. So for me, I don't know, I've been there, done that, and as much as I enjoyed the whole experience of that game, I've kind of, I won't say, you know, I've kind of moved on in a way, just because I've just gone with the times. I mean, don't wrong, Ninth Age and other systems still existed, and people still played and adapted rules and so on, and fair play to them. But for me, I kind of got my fix, if you like, from Total War Warhammer. So that for me, as soon as they introduced that game, that was me. I kind of got my fix from there, because I loved Total War anyway. So Total War Warhammer just fits straight in, and I don't really have a need to go back to the old world in that sense, and also time-wise as well. It's just another game, all that kind of stuff, and I'm just like, when am I ever going to play it? And
it means like, if you again, the same with like how the old world stuff translated into Age of Sigmar, where you've got to rebase them all. If you start playing the old world, are you going to have to rebase them again, or are you going to have to like basically collect the same army twice? I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think about looking at the news and all that jazz, what I've seen so far, so they're going to be on square bases. If it's going to be movement trays, then you could potentially use your old models. If you know, like the circular bases, like Lord of the Rings kind of thing, where you could put on movement trays and do that kind of stuff. And then I suppose, you know, that might work. But they're saying that you could potentially use your old models as well for the old world, if they're still on square bases, of course, unless the movement tray thing works. But regardless, it's a whole new system, which for me, I did like the fantasy system. I obviously realized when I played it, but it's just going back to that, and I'm just like, I mean, who knows? I mean, you know, some of the models I may pinch. I mean, I think actually Cedar has just mentioned that. I'll be looking at the old world for cool models to pinch for my city army. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there's going to be some awesome opportunities there to get some miniatures for AOS and other things potentially. So I think I'll use
I think if anything, that's probably what I'm going to be looking at it for as well. Is stuff that I can convert to AOS rather than collecting an entire army. Like I still collect some of the old metal orcs from Fantasy, but I rebase them all on circular bases or oval bases so that I can use them in Age of Sigmar.
Well, I've done the exact same thing with my undead army, and also the dwarfs that I've got as well. So, I mean, to be honest, I sold a lot of my old armies in the past because I was like, okay, but let's just move on, blah blah. And plus, they're just collecting dust. I wasn't going to use them, and because I'm not really that. I'm more nostalgic, and I have good memories, good experiences, but I'm not one to try and, it's like...
You're not sentimental enough with them that you want to keep them?
There you go. That's the word I was looking for, thanks. So I'm not like a sentimental person that much. So, I mean, towards certain things, I guess, but not necessarily towards armies. It's like now, I've got like 7 armies here. There's not one that I'm actually... there's probably 2 that I'm actually, okay, I wouldn't sell, especially right now. But the rest of them, like... I enjoyed playing them just a little bit, but if I sold them, I would not be that bothered at the same time. And it's not to say I didn't enjoy playing them or didn't enjoy painting them, but I don't... For me, I said this to Matt as well, and to obviously others in chat, but when I collect an army that I really like, I don't know what it is, I just call it a connection. So something where, for me, there's some like connection between the lore, the miniatures, how I would envisage interacting in the world with those miniatures and everything like that. So there's a whole like dynamic there where if I don't have that, it's like Miscaven, they're fun, but they're not real. I don't really have that kind of connection, if you know what I mean. So if I was to sell them, I wouldn't be that bothered.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when Matt, again, when others in chat, when we spoke about it before, they were saying like they buy these models because they really like the lore or the models look cool, and that's why they've got into it, which obviously is great reasons. But at the same time, it's like Skaven, I like the lore, they've got cool models, but that's not enough. I don't know, it's just that connection. I don't know what it is. I don't know what you want to call it, but that's what I call it. It's just something that's missing. It's like a link or something where I just don't really feel it. So that's kind of... I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting
similar
for
with
an
like
army
my
to
orcs and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I first started collecting dwarfs because they were the like alternate faction to what my friend was collecting at the time, which was Chaos Dwarfs.
Yeah.
And I really like the dwarfs. They're some of the oldest miniatures that I have. Like from some of them are like the what was it? It was the rogue trader of Fantasy, Marauder, the Marauder miniatures. Yeah. So like from the 1980s, like really small scale ones compared to what actually came out later. So I've got some of those, and I am a little bit sentimental. I guess that's the difference between us with those. I do like my collections and stuff, and I would keep those, but I would probably repaint them all and put them all on square bases to have what I had back then.
See, I do see
but
this.
That's like not buying a new army. That's repainting the same army, not buying a new one. But with my orcs, I absolutely love orcs all the way through, and I will collect those forever. Not space orcs though. Space orcs suck.
But this is it though. For me, I've got such fond memories of, again, back in the Warhammer days, when I collected orcs for a period of time. I had Grimgor, and I was like, Crom the Conqueror, I think it was. And that's what my brother had, and I had Grimgor and my orc army. We both clashed, and we purposely made it so those two fought against each other. My orc army started fleeing and running like cowards, and Grimgor was still fighting and stuff. And then I just came to a point where even though, I got rid of the army, but I have such fond memories, and it's more the memory that I keep rather than the miniature. If you know what I mean? It's just that I'm not sentimental that much towards the miniature, but then it depends on yeah, I don't know. I think it's just memories, nostalgia, and stuff that I love. Fax Painter. Yep, the army needs to speak to you. Exactly that, and that's kind of, it's a probably better way of saying it as well. That I'm still for AOS. I'm still waiting for that. I don't really have an army. Even Ideneth, I think they're really cool. I still, and it's funny, Ideneth are quite close, and Sylvaneth, they're quite close to actually having that kind of connection. But I just need to field test them. I need to have that epic experience on the battlefield as well. Where I haven't had that yet. But like the lore, I've listened to audiobooks and audiobook even, and understanding the lore, how they work, and so I kind of am getting that feel at the moment. But I'm waiting for that one army where I'm like blown away in AOS, and I've still not come across it yet. So I'm hoping for.
I think I'm kind of stuck like that in 40k. Like I have my Imperial Fists, I have my Necrons. Like I think my Necrons are my least favorite army out of that, purely because, like you say, that I don't have any actual connection to them. I like the miniatures, but I don't have any connection to the actual army itself to, drive me to play them. But my Death Guard, I love my Death Guard because I created individual characters for them. I've got Jeff, the Exalted Poxwalker, who managed to win a game of Kill Team against what are they called now? Death something, a Death Company or something. I can't remember what they're called. And he also survived like 3 turns of combat against some Necron Temple Guard. So he got upgraded. I created a new model for him, and then he managed to kill Ragnar. In combat. So then I upgraded him to a Lord of Contagion from a Poxwalker. So he's sort of like had a character.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something where I'm missing at the moment. And I don't know whether it's because we've got too many armies as well, that I can not really just delve in and focus in and having epic moments with certain armies and certain characters. And I have had that. Definitely have had epic and some really hilarious moments, and it's just been you're awesome. But I'm missing that kind of key factor. With 40k, funnily enough, Tau I've always liked, and I've read lore, I've delved into the history, load of stuff. I've got like a connection with the Tau in that sense. But then again, the new lore, I don't know what the new lore is because I need to delve into that. I suppose Imperial Guard, I used to have. Space Marines, I do have that, but not to as, because again I collected Blood Angels, but now they don't really tickle my fancy. Where before, when I was younger, I was like, oh, Blood Angels, so cool, and dark and vampire equivalent. But now I'm just like, nah, not really. So
it's why I collect Imperial Fist, because when I played Space Hulk ages, years and years and years ago, they were the one faction that I really liked. Like the Blood Angels, looked good. The Ultramarines are, the poster boys for 40k. But Imperial Fist were yellow, and I was like, Yellow Marines? And I just really took to them for just because they were yellow. Like I've got no reason to like the lore or anything like that. I just I just latched onto the fact that they were a very unique looking color of Marines. And from that, again, similar to like what I've done with my Iron Jaws, my Bone Splitters, with a lot of my other smaller warbands that I've played, like Kill Team and Warcry with, I've created characters. Like one of my sergeants looks like, the guy from Avatar, the big buff sergeant guy with the white hair, with the scar. The sergeant is nicknamed Papa Dragon after him, and he's got the same white hair with a scar going down his face. And I like giving like names and a little bit of character to some of the Marines that I've got in the squads.
So this is it, and this is for me going on the actual like the 40k side of stuff. I do have more connections to 40k than AOS at this moment in time, even though I don't play the game at this moment in time. This is why I got such exciting ideas that I want to get into, and you got like 40k stuff. I've got obviously like the tower I want to do and other bits, but it's like Imperial Guard. I want to get my kill team unit sorted. Like we talked about aliens before. My Space Marines that I'm looking at doing for the kill team again, Unit 5. I'm going to replicate the Expanse, the Martian Marines from there. Cool. So, it's my custom chapter, but at the same time, that for me. Then I'll have that connection. Where at this moment in time, I just don't have it for AOS armies at all. So,
I wonder if it's maybe because I don't know. Are you just collecting them and building them to make the army?
I think at this moment in time, yeah. I think just because with AOS, when I first got into it, it's like the Kharadron Overlords. I like the look of the ships. The troops are okay, but I'm not. I mean, that's it though. I'm not like awestruck. I'm not like dedicated. I'm not like, oh my god, this is awesome. The ships, I think it looked really cool, but the flight stands for they're so bad.
Oh yeah, the flight stands are enough to break anybody's spirit.
Honestly, I wanted to like jump and run for the hills. Anyway, so I've got those, but because there's no other dwarven factions out, so I was like, okay, let's go with these. It was between Fire Slayers and those, but then I was like, Fire Slayers, okay, but let's just go for something slightly different. Played them. I enjoy playing them, but again, I just don't have that key ingredient. But I think it's like,
I think it might be trying to like what might make them a little bit more meaningful is like projecting a theme or something, or projecting the character that you want onto the models.
Exactly, and I think it's again Nighthaunt. I've got a Nighthaunt army, but this is my main character, as you can tell. Converted him, but he's again. I'm just not. But they came out before Soulblight. But now I've already got these. I'm like, okay, Soulblight are up there because I've always had a Vampire von Karstein army back in the fantasy days. So that's kind of where I want to get to. Hey folks, hope you're doing well. Just an aimless German. Welcome to the chat. I think you're a first timer. So welcome. Let us know what you're working on, or if you're working on anything at all. Let's have a quick look. 40k characters totally didn't Commissar killing 3 custodes. Hold on. He's saying a Commissar killed 3 custodes. If that's the case, that's pretty cool.
So, but it's things like that as well. Like I
used to love commissars even.
You get characters who do epic deeds and stuff, and it endears you to those characters. Like Jeff, the Poxwalker. He before the first game, he was completely unknown to Nurgle. Once he had managed to, he was just a lowly Imperial Guard who got felled by a Death Guard Plague Marine, and then was reborn as a Poxwalker, carrying around just a rusty hammer. And then after one game where he managed to survive 3 rounds of combat with some Tomb Guard who rolled like imbeciles, he was then looked upon by Nurgle. Then in the next game where he was in one of the kill team bunkers, and they needed somebody to run and win one of the objectives, Jeff was there to take up the mantle, and he ran and he got the objective, and he completed the objective. So then he became a greater Poxwalker. So he got a new model.
So that's cool.
And then since then he was there's no champions in the units of Poxwalkers, but he was the champion of those Poxwalker that Poxwalker unit. And in one of the games that I played against Space Wolves, he happened to be in the unit that killed Ragnar. So he had to be promoted again for that. And now I have a Lord of Contagion kit bashed model, which is Jeff, the Lord of Contagion.
Jeff, good old Jeff. So Francis says, So obviously Francis joined. Welcome. I'm just catching up with chats there. Just a nameless German. So like stunties, do they have navy? So if you're talking about character and overlords, then yeah, they do have a navy indeed. Although to be honest, it's like the Ironclad. I've not got that. It's such a good ship and looks so damn good. But I was hesitant about getting into it just because I'm like, I don't know. KO. To be honest, I've got the Admiral who I've actually started to develop a bit of a connection to, in a sense, because he's been on. I've had quite a few good battles with him, good times. But then again, he doesn't really appear on the battlefield much, so he's in the ship. But this is I think what I'm waiting for. I may delve into Soul Blight at some point because again, vampires have always been a thing for me. I just love anything vampire, so I may delve into them in the future. But I think I need to sell a few armies first and just consolidate a bit more. But then I'll probably venture into. In fact, I've already got a few vampires anyway. Could do some Soul Blight, the Warcry stuff as well, just to get the ball rolling. And I think I'm waiting for a human faction, another human faction, like a mortal faction to come out. Whether it's knights, witch hunter themed, other stuff like that. I think that'll be very cool, and I can really get into that. I think I'm just waiting for that right faction still to come out.
Yeah, you mean similar to like what the old Empire was, or Britonia?
Britonia, I'd say more so. But again, I mean, like at this moment in time, my two favorite factions that I actually enjoy playing or just visually on lore is Ideneth and Sylvaneth. But yeah, we'll see how it goes with the other armies. But I've already said this anyway. I'm looking at selling a few of my armies anyway, just because I'm just not using them.
From the looks of it, like it's not 100%, but I know for a fact that there is a new faction coming out. And I don't know if it's going to be a death faction or whether it's going to be an order faction or maybe something entirely different. But they've shown off quite a few like pirate-ish looking models in some of the rumor engines. They've also shown off that the next Underworld's warband has like a crossed cutlass as part of its warband logo, and one of the models from that is an undead looking parrot.
Okay, might be interesting.
So I don't know whether it's going to be Nighthaunt, and they're going to get like a bunch of weird ghost pirates, whether it's going to be a new death faction or whether it's going to fit somewhere within like Soul Blight.
Yeah, true. It could be.
Or maybe it might be the Flesh Eater Courts. The Flesh Eater Courts were noble knights, and maybe these were pirates, and they're going to be part of the Flesh Eater Courts.
No, very honestly, very true, very true. So I'm just gonna catch you with chat for a sec. So, my elf boy with a rocket launcher who one-shotted a marine, killed team leader through pipe. So this is obviously, what we were saying before, but Sarah as well, where you have those epic moments where something happens like that, and it's just makes the whole battle worth it as well. Skirmish games always give more use to individual hero models. Have too many, despite having a full army, no problem. They get to star in their own warband. To be honest, exactly that for skirmish games. And again, this is like part of the whole consolidation thing that I want to do. Is I want to try and streamline at least to about 3 AOS armies, because I said I got like 7, and 3 AOS armies, and then for me, it just clears my head of just thinking I've got to play with these, I've got these to do, and now I can just focus on the task. Because one thing I don't want to do as well is just have armies there, not use them, and be like, you know what? Because that for me just doesn't compute. I need to use them or get rid of them. That's just how how the brain works, or mine does anyway. I was not only decommissioned my friend. I was about to not only decommission my phone. Sorry, I'm just aimless German. I'm just if you want to elaborate on that, that's all good. Sorry to hear about your AOS drought thing. I've recently got like 6 dudes, including a hobby store owner, to take up AOS. That's awesome, and we've had a great time learning and playing our Path to Glory. AOS, honestly, it's in terms of it's not really a drought per se, because again, I still love playing the game. Warcry just had a game of Catacombs not too long ago, which was awesome, and it's just so it's not really the game itself. The game, I absolutely love it, but it's more finding that connection to an army. I think that's kind of where I'm going to. But I do have 2 armies, and the Idonet I'm really excited about, and getting those on the board and obviously using them. So I think that's going to be really cool. Let's move on. So I was playing Sisters. Oh, cool. I gave she lost 1 HP on a Celestant model in 5 rounds. So again, I'm not too sure, because I haven't played 40k in some time. So I don't know how good Sisters are these days or anything, but the models look awesome, I've got to admit.
Yeah, on that one, I think it's basically he was fighting the character Celestine, and it looks as though she only lost like 1 wound in an entire 5 rounds.
Oh, okay. That's impressive and a good reason to get into Sisters, I guess.
Yeah, one of my friends who I played at Sisters, because I'd never played Sisters once, I killed Celestine, and he didn't tell me that she comes back to life again.
Why though? Yeah. Keep it a secret, makes it more fun.
No, because I wasted like a really good weapon just trying to get that 1 wound off her when she came back, and when she comes back, you can't attack her.
No. Well, but there you go. I didn't even know that either, because as I said, I don't really play 40k. But the thing is, you're the new kill team for Tau. You get Sisters in that, don't you? The box that you get.
It's like I think it's a new unit for the Sisters, and the Tau Pathfinders have like all new weapon gear.
Exactly. So for 40k, I'm very much going to get into kill team, just because small units, dedicated characters, and it can build up and get into that a lot as well, which is going to be awesome. Because on the channel, we do a lot of also like lore videos for AOS. I want to try and get into lore videos for 40k as well for their characters and start getting that out there, which would be awesome. Let's keep moving. So, unpack what did I miss? Alejandro, you need to tell me when you leave, mate. I've just been talking to you for the past 2 hours, right? Francis says, so yeah, try and stay too good. Yeah, it's too bad when collecting, I think. That's a safe way not to get overwhelmed. Exactly, Francis, that's kind of where I'm at the moment, where I've got too much stuff where I just can't commit to one, because I'm saying like I've got to play next. It's like when I play against Matt or others, Matt's got like 2 armies for AOS, which is more like Khorne and Stormcast. So it's great for him because he gets to play against a whole variety of armies. Where for Warcry, obviously that's different. Obviously we get I get my warbands, different warbands. Like last week or week before, I used my Idonet for the very first time. I went too heavy with the units rather than more guys, because again with Warcry, I've used Ogres, I've used Stormcast, I've used Sylvaneth, I've used Undead. That's what I love about Warcry, is that you can actually get a lot of stuff in, the time frame wise as well. But one thing I've definitely noticed though is when you go in with heavy hitters, they're great, but you can't capture those objectives, or even I've lost more games with the big guys than using multiple different units on models. So Crossnails Gargan is dope. So the big E slamming his nuts across Crossnails Gargan is dope. Yeah, I'm not too sure what that elaborates on, but yeah, the Kurnothi look pretty cool. If they ever release Army, I'll be all over that. Yeah, I think what they should do, and obviously Sylvaneth player here as well, they can bring back the elves. I think
Orion would be really cool to come back as well.
That's one miniature I've still got actually. have to put him on around base, but I've still got Orion from the world that was. And
is it the Finecast version or the metal one?
No, I did have the metal one. That is gone. I've got the Finecast one though, because I was like, I will still love that. So let's get it. And this is like, yeah, man, don't know how long ago I had that. 'Cause, you know the old Vlad model when he's still holding it, like he's got his sword and ring, his arm, his pose is like that. And then Orion's model. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, Vlad, my favorite character, Orion, in a book. I was like, this is so good. Because I love Wood Elves. Wood Elves were definitely one of my favorite factions. And then Undead as well. I was like, oh, and Bretonnians, Tomb Kings. So they were like my main factions back in the day. Oh dear Lord, I think I missed quite a bit actually. It's Death Hills, Nagash. Nagash is just absolutely awesome. Such a cool character. Vampire Coast.
Well,
Vampire Coast,
unless you read the Techlist book.
I've not read it, but again, on YouTube videos, it's like, yeah.
It is a funny end to that book. Yeah, Vampire Coast. So yeah, like I don't know if that is going to be the what those pirate models are, because some of the models that look kind of night haunty, where they've got like spirits coming out of the lanterns and stuff, people have mentioned that there have actually been boots on those models, and night haunt, typically don't have feet.
True. So just catching my chat has been quite a bit, so I'm just going to right. So never seen an orc player being salty or being a bad sport. So, Sarah, have you ever been salty or a bad sport?
Well, I think he's talking orc,
40K,
the 40k one. And no, I haven't ever seen a salty 40k orc player. I am a very, very salty orc player. When my dice rolls don't go my way, I do get a little bit stressed.
Yeah.
Because I know Nagash is behind it.
Yeah, exactly that. So if you have local AOS routes, join the online narrative campaigns, and all involve participation through actual games. Some are simply with hobby or rising. To be honest, going back to it, it's not really drought. That obviously, if it applies to other people, of course, then I 100% agree. I think it's more just for me personally. It's just, I still love playing the game, enjoy it. It's just a case of getting that connection, which I'm starting to build up, as I say. But I think it just needs to streamline now. I think it's about time because I've been talking about it for quite some time. And yes, Alejandro, Vampire Coast.
I think Games Workshop did say that they are going to be doing a preview at some point. I don't know if it's like within the half term or something, but I'm guessing that is one of the things that's going to come out. They've also shown off for the new Warcry stuff that there's like a spider faction of Chaos. I don't know whether that's going to be like the other Chaos warbands, where it's just going to be like an offshoot of like Chaos Mortal faction, or whether it's going to be part of a new army as well.
Not too sure. All right. I didn't realize the time. It is now 12:25, and I've got to get up for work. So I'd like to, again, so thank you all for joining the stream. Obviously, thank you all for those who obviously watch after the live stream as well. As always, post a comment on the video as well afterwards. That'll be awesome, just because it helps out with the YouTube algorithm, pushes us up. Also, subscribe if you've not done that, and also hit the bell icon too. So, thank you all for joining. Happy gaming and good night. And last of all, let the dice tell the story. Take care, all. And also, thank you, Sarah.
That's no worries. See you again.
Thanks for joining.